We are on chapter 27. A crying bush is what it is called. Okay. My grandpa taught me better than to let a lady carrying a bag of her own vomit just walk away. He didn't actually have a story for that one, but I was pretty sure that he would want me to help. I had no idea what to do. Did Mikkel want me with her? Would she rather be alone? A lot of the time I wanted to be alone, but Mikkel wasn't like me. I could text her to see how she was doing, but that didn't seem like the right thing to do. I figured the least I could do was to follow her home at a distance and make sure she got there safely. By the time I got outside, Mikkel had dropped the bag in the dumpster and was carrying her ukulele down the street. She was a couple of blocks ahead, so I hoped that she wouldn't think I was creepy following her. When she got to the library, she went around back. I knew where she was going. I slowed down to give her some time. Quiet time to think and work things out in her head. Eventually, I reached the library and made my way through the parking lot to the wooded path. I could hear the birds chirping in the trees as I made my way up the path. It was beautiful. Even with my blurry eye, I could see twice as much as I could the last time I was on this path. Rays of sunshine glittered in the air along the trail. There were so many shades of green above me, in front of me, below my feet. Maybe it was just a little problem with my eye. I really liked seeing and didn't want that to change. I got across the stream much easier this time, hopping from rock to rock like Mikkel had done. I reached the other side dry. Before I knew it, I climbed over a toppled trunk and was face to face with an 8-foot bush, a blurry bush, an 8-foot blurry crying bush, an 8-foot blurry crying ukulele playing bush. I wasn't going in there. That just seemed too forceful. I backtracked to sit on the trunk and wait. The ukulele playing stopped. Mikkel's head poked out of the hole and looked up at me. I guess she'd heard me moving. Her eyes were swollen and red. Squint, you scared me. What are you doing here? I was worried, I said. I was using all of my self-control not to dive bomb into a spiral of every word that was in my head. They all wanted to come out, but she didn't need my blabber mouthing. You can come in if you want. She backed herself into the bush. I crawled in, trying to give her a lot of room once I was inside. Of course, that was hard to do in such a small space. Inside the bush never ceased to be magical. The green light, the small twisting, hanging branches, even if it was fading in and out of blurriness. Mikkel sniffed. Your eye really doesn't look good. Why did everyone have to say that? I'm not here to talk about my eye. Why did you follow me? I stalled. Trying to think of how to answer. I wanted to make sure that you were okay. I let the silence hang there for a moment. Are you? I realized my question might not be clear. Okay? More tears, her ukulele now on her lap. I failed, Squint, and not just a little. Like, this is a big fail. I failed you. I didn't follow through on our deal. I failed Danny. She really choked up. I couldn't do his last challenge. I knew this would happen. I just knew it. That's why I fought so hard about doing the auditions. That's why I fought Danny, too. I have terrible stage fright. My head goes wonky, like all the blood slips down to my toes. I get an instant headache. My hearing goes muffled. My stomach gets sick. Every time. Every stupid time. She picked her ukulele up and started strumming fast and angry. I had no idea that tiny instrument could sound so fierce. She slowed down, soft and sad. Soon it faded. I'm failing, she said, at everything. I'm failing at school. There's no way I can get as good of grades as my dad wants. I'm failing socially. Was that last one my fault? I'm failing at life. And my mom is no help. And my dad is trying to act like nothing's wrong. Like he didn't lose a son. And his wife isn't slowly going crazy. And his daughter isn't a total failure. She brought her knees up and rested her head against them. I don't think it's as bad as I started, wishing I could see clearly. It is, she insisted, cutting me off. No, I said, it is, she repeated. No, it isn't. At least you have a mom and dad, I said, surprised at how it slipped out. But I didn't stop. At least you had a brother. At least you weren't the kid born with the genetic disease. And at least you have a social life to fail at. I knew that she wasn't trying to make me upset, but the thoughts flowed through me like lightning through Squint's daggers. Mikkel opened her mouth before saying anything. I didn't mean. We sat there, not looking at each other. Then, without a word, she left. I had screwed up. I hadn't said the right things. I might have driven away my one and only almost friend, and my eye wasn't good enough to see her clearly as she went. This chapter is short too. I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 28. Okay. Chapter 28, rejection. I walked into my house and threw down my backpack. That wasn't the way things were supposed to work out. Mikkel was supposed to show them her awesome rhyming, and everyone was supposed to be completely wowed. She was supposed to realize that she was an amazing person with serious talent and be proud of herself. She was supposed to feel good about doing Danny's challenges and finally have a way to show how much she loved and appreciated him. And then maybe she might even sit next to me again. That was a whole string of supposed to that hadn't happened, not even close, and my eye wasn't supposed to be giving me problems again, especially with my comic due tomorrow. Middle school rule, if anything can go totally, completely, epically wrong, it will. I kicked my backpack. I'm not sure what that backpack did to you, but you might need to kick it a few more times. Grandpa swiveled his orange recliner around to face me. What's wrong? I turned away from him. I don't really want to talk about it. I could only imagine he would have a football story for me, and that was about the last thing I wanted right now. Is something wrong with your friend? Grandpa asked. I shook my head. It was kind of a lie, but I did it. Is it your comic? He asked. I don't care about my comic, I said, walking into the kitchen, and I didn't. Not now. Why had everything gone wrong? She had come so close to trying out, to doing the challenge. I sat at the kitchen table and let my head fall against the wood. Well, Grandma said, looking up from her old laptop. She had been typing at the counter. What critter creeped in your basement? I said I don't want to talk about it. Why did they both have to ask? Talk or don't talk, you've got to be careful, Grandma said. You just slammed your head on that table and your eye is still fragile. No, it isn't, I said. Yes, sir, Grandma said. Just because you're seeing clearly now doesn't mean that. I'm not seeing clearly, I blurted out. It's going blurry again. What? Grandma moved quickly across the kitchen, sat down next to me, and tilted my head back so she could look into my eye. Oh my goodness, look how red that is. What did you do, child? Nothing, I said. It just happened. She let go of my face and called into the other room. Keith, come look at this. What's going on? Grandpa asked. Is his backpack out for revenge? No, Grandma said. His eye. It's really red, and he says it's blurry again. Grandpa came over and looked so close his long beard brushed my face. Looks murky too. It may be nothing, but it may be a problem. Let's call the doctor. A few minutes later, we were traveling down to Dr. Young's office. They were staying open late for us. The doctor looked at my eye with his instruments from all sorts of angles, then said exactly what I didn't want to hear. It looks like corneal rejection. That sounds bad, Grandma said. He explained that my body's immune system thought that Danny's cornea wasn't a normal part of my body. It wasn't. But we wanted it to think it was so it would adopt the new windshield. But it was trying to get it to go away. Stupid body. I remembered that one of the videos I'd watched before my surgery had talked about corneal rejection. The dude went blind in that eye. It happens sometimes, the doctor said. I'll give you some eye drops and hopefully that will take care of the problem. That's it, Grandpa said. Eye drops and it's fine? Well, the doctor said, in the majority of cases, drops are all it will take. I didn't like those words, in the majority. What if I wasn't in the majority? Everyone's different, the doctor explained. We actually need to suppress the immune system to help your eye accept the new cornea. And it was good you rushed down. The sooner we start on the drops, the better. But what if my body won't accept the cornea? I asked. What if the drops aren't good enough? Then it will lead to other complications, the doctor said. But let's cross that bridge if we get there. All right, that's the end of chapter 28.
Oh, can we just, read another one?